A wise man once said, the only thing that stays the same is nothing stays the same. Change is inevitable, and that's what we're talking about on today's edition of Top 5 Tuesday. Country stars who changed their iconic look. At number 5, we got Waylon Jennings. When he first got to Nashville, he dressed, he acted, he sounded like he thought Nashville wanted him to. And when Nashville didn't exactly reciprocate that favor early on, he thought, you know what, I'm going to do this the way I want to do this. He grew his hair out, he grew the beard out, he started smoking on stage, he started wearing the big black cowboy hat, and Waylon Jennings, the outlaw, began to take shape. And next thing you know, he's one of the biggest stars in country music. He becomes one of the biggest legends in the genre as well, but all after he changed his initial clean-cut look. Waylon Jennings, he's at number 5. At number 4, it is Blake Shelton. When he first showed up on the scene, everybody knew who Blake Shelton was by the long mop of curly hair he had coming out from underneath that cowboy hat. But at one point, he decided to trim the locks. Yes, he went from the long hair and cowboy hat to a short-haired, no-hat look, and he has been one of the biggest stars in country music for the last 10 to 15 years. Blake Shelton, a little bit more clean-cut. It was a big change, but it worked. He's at number 4. At number 3, Reba McEntire, remembered from her heyday in the late 80s and early 90s for the towering red inferno of locks that flowed down from her beautiful Oklahoma head. But as all things go, sooner or later a change will come. And when the decade of big hair and decadence was over, something needed to change, and it did. And just like that, we got short-haired Reba McEntire. It was a big change, but Reba makes anything work, and she made that work too. She's at number 3. At number 2, we've got Hank Williams Jr., and there are many reasons to change up your look. You were feeling something a bit different. Maybe you just wanted to make a change. Maybe the record company thought that something else might work a little bit better. But sometimes it's born out of necessity, and that's what happened with Hank Jr. When he first showed up on the country music scene, he was almost a carbon copy of his father. He sang Hank Williams songs. He dressed like Hank Williams. But just like Waylon Jennings before, that inner outlaw had to come out. And what forced it out was a fall off a mountain. Yes, a very active mountain climber was Hank Williams Jr. back in the day, and unfortunately a fall off of a mountain led to plenty of facial injuries, and during his recovery, he developed plenty of scars across his face. So to hide the scars, Hank decided to change up his look. He grew the big bushy beard, put on the dark sunglasses, the hat pulled low, and he looked almost completely different than in his early days, but it really helped develop that inner outlaw that was inside Hank Williams Jr. He started doing things on his own terms just like Waylon before him, and he became a huge star in his own right as well. Hank Williams Jr., he's at number 2. At number 1, it is Willie Nelson, another guy who tried to fit into that Nashville establishment when he first came to town. He wore the suits, he had the short, clean-cut haircut, he was clean-shaven, but you know what? That wasn't the real Willie Nelson. And when he left Nashville and went back to Texas and decided to do things his own way, he let the real Willie Nelson out. He grew the hair long, he put it into braids, he started wearing headbands, grew the beard out from time to time, t-shirts and jeans, sneakers. Willie Nelson just wanted to be comfortable, and Willie Nelson just wanted to be Willie Nelson. And that is where his star really started to take off, when he stopped being what he thought people wanted him to be and started being the real Willie Nelson, the red-headed stranger that we all know and love. He's number 1 on our list of country stars who changed iconic looks and developed their own iconic style. He did just that. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of Top 5 Tuesday. We'll be back again next week with a brand new edition. Have a great day.